Hey everybody, my name is Tyler Fishback. I'm a pharmacy director at Confluence Health in Wenatchee, and I was asked by Blake to share with you guys some of the things that I've found to be really big handholds, rocks, things to hold on to as you build your career and develop professionally and personally. And that's what I'm here today to do. This shouldn't be long. I just want to go very high level on some things that I found to be extremely important. As part of my work, I've been doing pharmacy practice at hospitals primarily for about 15 years or so now. In that time, I've taught dozens, probably nearly 100 students at this point, dozens of residents, their postdoctoral training. I've mentored numerous students and residents along the way, and so it's put me in a lot of touch with great people that I'm working to build up to, but also just deep level of dive into medicine and complex systems. Healthcare is so complex and still learning. I learn something new every day. But it's certainly given me a lot of perspective and a lot of challenges in my career so far. But let's just jump in as we talk about some of these big rocks to think about. And one of them is purpose. It said, and Mark Twain said, two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. And it turns out a kind of disgustingly low amount of people really have defined for themselves what their purpose is in their life, what they're doing, what they're trying to accomplish. And if you lack that, you can just kind of bumble through life and live the course that the kind of world sets for you or the economy sets for you. And I think we all strive and desire to live for more than that. And I think it's also possible. And this isn't something that's defined for you. This is an individual journey. Your purpose is defined by you, really. I think it has a lot to do with your God-given strengths and finding a place in which you're able to use those to serve people and to serve your company really well. So for instance, when I think about my purpose, it takes some of those talents around being an educator, being a speaker, and I think that my purpose is around in many ways for advocacy, to advocate for people that don't have a voice, whether that's patients or advocacy, kind of fighting back against pharmaceutical companies that when they're stepping out of line in their practices. And also, building people up through teaching. Another strength of mine has been teaching, and so really kind of grabbing hold of what am I here to do, and it's to use these strengths to serve people well. So I encourage you guys to be thinking about what is your purpose. The next kind of topic, I ripped this out of a magazine when I was over in Portugal, almost 20 years ago now. But it says, only the betterness of tradition and character are true signs of progress, and everything else, without exception, are just simply fashion modifications or insignificant changes. And I love that because we want to instill in our country and our workplaces just some rich traditions. I'd ask you to think about, how are you increasing the richness of the traditions that you're a part of? These could be small things in every single day. These aren't necessarily just the once a year, Christmas traditions you do. But we should be striving for having really rich traditions and character building in this country. And I think that is a true sign of progress. And we have to look for those things in a world that's filled with so many other, quote unquote signs of progress. But who are the people, and what do they embody through their tradition and their character? So Next thing I'm just going to point out is that I work in healthcare specifically, but I would just make the argument that systems, the systems we work in, there's a lot of brokenness in them. They're not perfectly functioning systems. And when we think back on like this pandemic and just the supply chains and getting needed materials to my hospital, drug shortages we were dealing with, but also just the way organizations function isn't always perfect. There's a lot of brokenness in there, and I love this quote from Steve Jobs where he says that these systems that we work in, they were created by people that are no smarter than you or I. There is no board of directors over the earth that are making really fantastic decisions to make the earth function really well. That just doesn't exist. And as you build up even within a company, you realize the people sitting at these higher and higher tables, executive tables, they're not smarter than you, and they're doing their best. But if we're thinking that that someone is just more wise than we are, then I think we're fooling ourselves. And what this means is that you, as an individual, have the ability to kind of push on these systems and make your influence on them and make them better, and not just work within them thinking that they're fixed and have no ability to change. So that's another thing I'd encourage you is where are these things broken, and what's my responsibility and ability to influence it and to change it. So one of the things that I would point out is how you're going to do that work. Some of it's through innovation, creativity, and you'll hear that a lot. What does it look like to be innovative? I think part of it is just continuing to learn, to fill your mind with really good stuff that allows you to challenge your perspective and make you go, oh gosh, I never thought about it that way before. Listening to people that are inspirational and keep your mind in a path of being curious and exploring. And so there's many ways to do that now through YouTube videos or just the great books that are out there. But find content and people, especially, I would say people are the most important way. Listen to people that resonate with you, not to fix your mindset, but rather to challenge it. Who are those people that they're thought-provoking and make you think about new things? That's so important. I would say that because otherwise if you don't take time for that, you will find yourself making time for this instead. And what that's meant to represent really is just you're constantly going to be distracted. There's people vying for your attention all the time, through your phone and email and all these things and news feeds and social media, all this stuff vying for a limited, finite amount of energy and attention that you have. And you need to find ways to close that off and make space for the things that are really important. Time to do even deep thinking where you're uninterrupted for hours on end. I know it's hard for me right now with the job I have and 2 young kids. I'm not really getting a lot of that time, but I'm working towards setting aside that more and more so that I know I'm not just finding busy work and letting other people control my life, but rather getting to recognize what are the really important things to work on that are going to make a difference, and then giving the appropriate amount of time to those. So anyways, just a warning against letting people dictate your time and energy by email, phone, and grabbing it for social media. These are real dangers. I really think they are, especially for you to giving your best and becoming your best. Obviously, I have to spend just a moment on collaboration. There's just so much to learn from other people. Almost any industry, people are going to tell you it comes down to relationship. I don't care how skilled you are at a particular task or job. It is so much about relationship. So collaborate, meet new people, shake hands, introduce yourself, be courageous, put yourself out there. those are such important things to do. So build relationship. And when I tell students, what does it look like to develop and grow professionally? I say, often it looks like this. And what this is the person saying, I'll help with that. It's the raising the hand and saying, I'm here to help. Let me, even though I don't know, may not know the answer, let me lean into something. And you will learn as you go. But don't be afraid to put your hand up and step into uncharted territory. That is how you will learn and grow professionally. The double fork in the road, we'll call this. I want to encourage you guys to think about, your career path is not just going to be this, I go down this road and this is how it's going to be. It's just not the way I think the world works. And for some jobs, it might even feel like that, or you could go down that road. But I encourage people to think about what are some of the non-traditional kind of roles that a pharmacist can play. What are the jobs that not many people end up in, but are maybe great jobs or fantastic jobs or really rewarding jobs? And so learning to, see this as not just one distinct path, but rather challenging that, exploring non-traditional pathways. And I think you'll find that you could be at the cutting edge of things. And that, I think, is just really rewarding too, being kind of an expert. The smaller the field is, just the more you have the ability to become an expert in that area and really make a difference. And so I think that's a good opportunity. And so I want you guys to see things that way. And that kind of goes along with this, you might feel sometimes like the fish going the against the grain there. And that's completely okay. I think there's a lot of people just en masse, just think about it, like head down on the phone, walking in this direction, and they have become, in a way, just victims of like moving through economy the certain way, never challenging or pushing back on it, not investing in themselves, letting their time be dictated by others. And so if you find yourself feeling like I'm going a different way than a lot of people, I would say, good. That's great. I mean, you can look around. You don't have to look too hard to realize, man, there's a lot of people that are not necessarily living joy-giving, fulfilling lives and using their strengths and talents every day to build people up around them. And so you're not going to see it everywhere. It does look different, I think. And so that's okay to go against the grain. I'm going to end with this. This is a shot of base camp on Mount Rainier that me and my cousins climbed a few years back. And your career, your life, sometimes it feels like climbing a mountain. They say, how do you climb a mountain? One step at a time. It's going to be hard work. But one of my favorite sayings is, great things happen when men meet mountains. Mountain climbing is meant to be challenging. But gosh, the views at the top are amazing. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a grind. And yet it's worth every minute of it. It's worth anything that is going to be rewarding is going to take a lot of hard work. This is not easy. And so, but it's worth the climb. And that's what I want to encourage you guys to think as you move forward and give your best to something. One step at a time, but you will get to the top. And I just want to thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you for what you're doing, and wish you all the best. Please reach out if there's ever anything that I can do. I'm happy to support you in any way I can. All right, take care. Bye.